it was chill. It wasn't really, you know, I didn't live near the projects. We lived on the other side of town, and it was, you know, it was a nicer area than where I'm at now. And even the people around was nice. Yeah, that dude got laid out, but they came from somewhere else. But I remember playing somebody else. Somebody else came next to me and put their quarter in, and I was beating a lot of people. People were lining up, and I was just bodying people. Some people were celebrating. Somebody was like, "Yo, this little kid is nice. This little nigga's nice," and I was feeling good, like, "Oh shit, they like me." But then at the same time, I was a little nervous because, you know, I'm playing against dudes that are older than me, dudes that are more gangster than I am, because I'm not gangster at all. I'm just a little regular nigga, just chilling, just a little kid, little badass nigga. Not bad as them, but, you know, I had summer school. I was always worried about games more than I was about my schoolwork and shit. But this next nigga came up to me, put his quarter in, and this nigga was dumb tall. And he was like, "Yeah, you nice, man, you nice, but you ain't that nice." And he picked Guile. There's a lot of Guiles in this area too. I remember this. In this certain area, there was a lot of people using Guile. And anyways, he was playing, and this nigga, I did it to him too, but I didn't mean to. I threw him once, did my Hadoukens and my hurricane kicks and shit. I had no concept of spacing and combos or nothing. I would throw my Hadoukens, do my hurricane kicks, do my jump kicks into sweeps, and then back up and do the same shit all over again. My game plan was weak. I basically I was a one-trick pony, man. And if you read my style, you can basically count everything I did because you knew what I was gonna do. But at the time, I'm just some little nigga that's hyped because he know how to do these special moves. And this nigga did the Guile handcuffed. No, I threw him a second time in the round, and he was like, you know you can't throw me again. And I'm like, damn. So we playing, and before the round ended, I threw him again by accident because, you know, I'm tense and I'm like, shit, I can't throw. So now I gotta just rely on my fireballs and my dragon punches and my hurricane kick. I can't throw. He probably gonna beat me up if I throw. But I threw him again by accident, and I'm like, shit. I'm just waiting to get hit in the face. I'm playing, I'm just looking at the screen, and I'm nervous as fuck, but I'm not shaking. I'm probably sweating a little bit. I'm like, shit. Anytime, any second now, I'm gonna feel knuckles on my face. Fuck. But he didn't do it. And this nigga got near me. I forgot exactly what happened. But next thing I know, my character was stuck to his character, and everybody's like, oh, he handcuffed him. And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, how the fuck this happened, man? I'm like, what's going on? And if you people knew, it was the Guile handcuff was, Guile would do the freeze. He would do the upside down kick into Sonic Boom, and Guile would freeze in a certain pose. And it's the pose where his frames is returning from the upside down kick. So if you do a Sonic Boom before that, he does this pose where he's like, it looked like he's drinking a 40 in midair or some shit. I can't explain it no other way. But I remember walking up to him trying to hit him, and I couldn't hit him. And then he handcuffed me, and I was like, fuck. What is this? I've never seen that before. I didn't even hear about that. Word didn't travel about that move. And I'm like, fuck. And he was like, I told you not to throw me more than twice, right? And I'm like, shit. And the only way to actually, there was a way to reverse the Guile handcuff, but no one knew. At this time, we just knew how to do that move, and then you just had to reset the machine. So you had to click the switch, turn the machine off, and turn it back on. That was the only way to do it. But I stood there in awe, like, what the fuck just happened? This dude just, what's going on? And I'm just like, what? And then my friend Walter was like, yo, we gotta go. And I'm like, shit. I got summer school. I'm like, shit. So on my way walking, I'm like, yo, you seen that? Walt's like, yeah, I don't know what that's about. You shouldn't have thrown him, though. You threw him too many times. I'm like, yeah, but what did he do to me, though? I'm like, I'm glad I didn't get beat up. But he froze the game or some shit. I was stuck to him. And when the countdown reached 0, when the time clock reached 0, the screen was still there. We were still jumping around. We just couldn't do anything. The game was stuck. I was like, what's going on? Walt was like, I don't know, man. I don't know. And I'm like, yo, fuck. And back then, when you seen shit like that, you were mind blown. Nowadays, it's always some new shit coming out every other second. It's always some new trick, and it ain't even really new tricks and shit. It's all these hacks, and it ain't the same. Back then, some shit like that happened. You were mind fucked all day, all week, all month until you figured out how it happened, why it happened, and until you learned how to do it yourself. You was just, that's all you could think about. Back then, anytime you seen something new, you had to learn how to do it. There was no, oh, that's cool anyways, what's going on? No, it was none of that. Nowadays, people like, oh yeah, that's cool, whatever. Anyways, yo, so what you been doing? Now, back then, you had to know, yo, what the fuck did he do, and how do I do that? And I was just like, damn. But then I also learned that throwing shit was serious too. Like, if that dude didn't freeze the game, if he didn't do the guile handcuff to me, he could have done something else, which was punch me in the fucking face and knock my head off my shoulders. He could have done that. Or I could have walked out on my way to summer school. I could have walked out that pizza shop and would have got stomped the fuck out. Would have got blindsided and beat up. And I understood that this throwing shit was serious. And I remember going to another place and they had rules too, but they was like, theirs was different. They was like, you can throw, but what was it? It was something like you can throw one time per game. So you couldn't even like, if I threw you the first round, I couldn't throw you at all during our game, unless, you know, even if I lost the next round, I couldn't throw you on the last round or nothing. I'm like, damn, at least the other place you could throw twice per round. This one you can only throw once per game. And you know, people enforce these rules, man. You knew these rules because when you looked at other people, like, yo, you hear them? You're like, yeah, you can't do that around here. It's like, damn. But in my area, my pizza shop, in my neighborhood, there were no rules. And even when niggas try to make up rules in my area, there was enough of us to say, nah, man, nah, if it's in the game, you can do it. Niggas, but no, that's cheesing. Like, so what? If you don't like it, get away from here. And it was kind of weird, because even if niggas was big, like, it would be big niggas coming up in my pizza shop and throwing people whenever they wanted. People would throw him whenever they wanted. And they would be like, nah, you can't throw me more than. And we'd be like, nah, man, this is our pizza shop. This is our area, man. You can do whatever you want here. There's no rules. If it's in the game, you're allowed to do it. And they'd be like, then fuck this place, man. Y'all ain't got no rules or nothing. Y'all cheesing, man. It's like, nah, man. Everywhere else, y'all got all these rules. We gonna uphold the law of street fighting. But it was respected, though. If you went to a place and they had a certain set of rules, you respected those rules. Even if you was a 10'5" nigga and a bunch of little midgets was telling you what the rules were, you had to follow them. You had to respect it. I love that about arcades, man. You know, yeah, it sucked when you went to a place and you couldn't play freely, but at the same time, each place had their own little. That's the thing, man. It was the culture of that shit, man. It's just so. It's so different now. Like, you play now and you beat somebody and they send you a message on Xbox Live or on PlayStation Network. They just send you some mail, some hate mail, and yo, fuck you, you whack, you really suck, I'm really better than you, but the lag and this and that. It's like, shut the fuck up, man. I remember playing that, and I was playing at my cousin's house not too long ago, and I was playing Street Fighter online, and I got fucked up because some nigga kept crossing me up and I was blocking the wrong way, and this nigga bodied me for free. It was not even a real match, and he kicked me out the lobby and he sent me some mails like, yo, no, he didn't send me mail. I heard him yelling on the headphones. He was like, you fucking suck, man, you suck, get out my lobby, fuck you, man, you suck. And I heard some kid crying in the background. I'm like, this nigga probably in a filthy room cursing around like that, cursing around some kid like that in some pigsty, talking about I suck, which I did, but I'm just like, this nigga. Would he say this in an arcade though? If we were like next to each other, because it's totally different. There's a certain level of respect you have, or a certain level of disrespect, but you don't say anything. It's like you're so free to say whatever you want online. You can say whatever the fuck you want, but in the arcade era, man, there was repercussions. You said something and somebody didn't like what you said, you could see it in their face like, oh shit, either I say I'm sorry right now or I'll run the fuck out of here. I miss those days, man. The more I talk about it, the more I miss this shit, man. Just, man. But anyways, So I started understanding the rules that certain places had around town, and I started getting nice. I started getting better at the game, and Damien started teaching me some more things, and Damien taught me about normals and these being important tools, and ain't all about the Hadouken and the Shoryuken. Because he noticed my game plan. He was like, yo, you always doing this and you always doing that. You got to use this sometimes too. You got to use that. Every time somebody jump towards you, you don't have to always do a dragon punch. You can down fierce them. There's different ways to anti-air. You ain't always got to do the complicated way. Remember, keep it simple. And I'm like, yeah, I'm learning, and I'm becoming more of that nigga in my area when Damien's not around, and I'm getting real nice. Now I know how to do combos. I wasn't just a jump roundhouse into sweep. That was the main combo back then. It was when you jumped over fireball, roundhouse sweep, or fierce into sweep. But then I started learning, fierce into low forward into Hadouken, and get them 3-hit combos. Started learning other things, and my friend Walter, he wasn't keeping up. I was trying to teach him, but he couldn't really execute these things. And some jealousy started coming around, started showing up. And I'd be like, yo, do this. He's like, I can't do it, man. Everybody ain't you. Shut the fuck up. And I'm like, all right. And back then, man, Street Fighter, you gain a lot of friends because of the game, but you lost a lot of friends too. And me and Walter, we wasn't tight as we used to be, because I was getting praise for my play, and then I was beating the game easily, and I was like the Damien. I was the Damien now. Damien was still godlike. He was still number one, but I was getting my game was closer to his than it was to anybody else's. So when I would be playing the game, when people would walk in, they wouldn't put their quarter in. They would do what I used to do, stand next to me and watch me play. They wanted to watch me beat the game. They wanted to watch me beat M. Bison. They wanted to watch me put my initials in the arcade cabinet. And and I bragged about me. Yeah, that's me up there. I got the highest score. Yeah, I beat the game. Before, when I was playing, people put their quarters in, and they struggled against me, but I never beat them free. It was always kind of close or whatever. But now I was at the point where people couldn't fuck with me. The only person better than me was Damien. If he wasn't around, I was running that area, and I was getting praise. And Walter wasn't. People weren't really paying him no mind, and he started talking to me less and less. And I was like, damn. I started to understand. I didn't really understand what was going on at first. I'm like, yo, what's up? And he'd be like, yeah, what up? And we'll walk by, and I'm like, yo, so what you doing today? He's like, nothing. And he would keep walking. I'm like, damn. And I would be in the arcade sometimes, and if I'd be at the Street Fighter machine at the pizza shop, and if he walked in, he would see me at the machine, and instead of running to me and talking to me while I'm playing, he would just suck his teeth, turn his head, and walk out. And I was like, I was so dumb, because I didn't understand where it was coming from. But then I started understanding later. And one day he told me, he's like, yo, everybody's always talking about you nice at the game. What about me, man? I'm trying to do it too. And I'm like, yo, everybody don't do things the same. He's like, I'm doing the same thing you doing, but I just don't do it right all the time. And I was like, man, your execution ain't really. I didn't say execution, but that's what it was. His execution wasn't on par. So when he would do a combo, he would always drop the combo. When he wanted to do something, when it was a moment for him to punish and win, he couldn't execute. He always got the jitters. He always messed up. And whatever, man, we started becoming less cool. But for a while, me, him, and Damien were those three niggas. We were the crew. So anyway, we got tight again a little later. We became close again, because I guess he got over it. He felt stupid. He was just like, yo, my bad for acting like that. I was just jealous because everybody was giving you all attention. And I'm like, man, I'm not. Remember, Damien's still the best. I'm not important to anything. I just love playing this shit. He didn't really like Street Fighter as much as I did. I mean, I loved that game. When I would play and then the pizza shop was closing or I had to go home, when I would go home and play my other games, yeah, I'll be playing my games, but I was playing those games off of muscle memory, because my mind was always on Street Fighter. When I was not around the machine, it was always on Street Fighter. When I was in